Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a long overdue update for Project 100 Uses. This is a project that just keeps getting bumped off of my list if I'm running behind, which I always am. I was inspired to do this project by Chic Geek and Too Much Tosh. I love the idea of striving for over 100 uses on my products. I am tracking almost every product in my collection and tracking the usage on it. So I mostly share powder products, but if you are curious about anything in my collection and how many times I've used it, let me know in the comments below and I will update you on that particular product in the next update. I do have something that's well over 100 uses I wanted to share with you, and I'm just excited to give an update on some of these products. I have a list of like my focus kind of for this project, things that, you know, the numbers are increasing at a more steady rate than other things in my collection, but I just try and update you guys on like 5 to 8 items in these updates, not always the same items. It's not like a bin of certain products that I'm working on until one meets 100 and then that goes out and another one goes in. Am I making any sense? Probably not. Let's just hop right into it. I wanted to share a face palette. This is my oldest face palette. It's a Too Faced Cocoa Contour, and I have used this 51 times. I would love to get to 100 uses on it, and I think at that point I might retire it. I can't really smell that much, so I don't know why I tried that. It does still smell faintly of chocolate. I would love to have pan on this light setting shade. This highlight shade is garbage, but I want to focus on using my face palettes a bit more this year, so I want to be pulling this one out. One of my most expensive palettes in my collection, or maybe my most expensive, it was a gift for my husband for our 10-year anniversary a couple of years ago when this released. It's the Natasha Denona Zendo palette. I am working on this on the shade Vigor in a project this year, so it has been up in my everyday makeup drawer situation, and I still have not been using it as much as I should. I have used this palette now 16 times since I've owned it, which is a shame. I was so excited to get this. I feel so inspired looking at this. I love the looks I create with this, but I have fading issues with this formula, which makes me hesitant to reach for it on any time I need to be out and about because I'm worried that my eyeshadow is going to look disgusting in 2 hours. So I definitely need to work through that a bit more and get more use on this palette. A palette that I was very surprised by the high number of times I've used it. Well, like, not really, because it was getting pulled into pan those eyeshadows all the time. The BH Cosmetics Taking Back to Brazil palette. I've used this palette 75 times. I have multiple pans in this palette. This is a very beginner-friendly rainbow palette. This is a great rainbow palette that's affordable if you are mostly a neutral lover and just want a couple of colors that you can just reach in here every once in a while. This is not like a great formula, but I like that it's buildable. I have a lot of fun with this palette. Like, it's fine, and I'm so looking forward to the day that I hit 100 uses on it. I like that this is a part of my collection. I know, like, it seems like everyone has decluttered this, but it's really motivating to hit pan in this palette, and I enjoy reaching for it. So it's probably like one of my lower quality palettes, and yet I still have a fun time using it. A palette that I do hope to use much more this spring and summer is my Glamlite Ice Cream Dream palette. This palette is not all that old in my collection. It was a bit of a splurge for me once I considered shipping. Shipping to Canada was a little ridiculous in my opinion from Glamlite, and it has deterred me from buying any more palettes I've wanted from the brand. But this palette, again, just inspires me so much. Last year, you had to like pry this out of my hands. I just wanted to use it every single day and neglect all of my other Project Pan eyeshadows. I have so much fun with this palette. I've used this 16 times. I should have used it more. I should say I used this 16 times and only 10 of those was in a Project Pan, and then I used it, you know, more and more. For someone that doesn't wear the makeup every day, I feel like that's significant. Although now I'm like, oh, I just use it 16 times and it's a favorite. This should have 100 uses on it. A palette I've been reaching for more lately and falling back in love with Colourpop So Jaded, particularly Sunstone and Tiger's Eye. I am just loving those two shimmer shades so much, as well as Jade and Geodude. Like these grungy tones, I am loving so much. I've used this 37 times, and this is currently going in my Project 10 uses, I believe, so it's going to get even more uses from me. I like these like mauve-y slash red shades. I love this palette, and I kind of forgot about it slash have been neglecting it, so I'm happy that it's also being tracked as a part of my Project 100 uses to motivate me to keep pulling it out, even when it's not in official project pans. Does that make any sense? A palette that is in my deck of panning project is my Tarte Tartelette Toasted palette, and my goal in deck of panning is to like complete this part, getting it to surpass 100 uses. I have used this palette 65 times, and I would like some pans showing in here. I want to be using this palette more. I feel like people have panned like these types of palettes from Tarte a lot, the people I watch on YouTube, and this is a beautiful warm toned palette. It's nothing special, no, but I really enjoy my time using it, and I want to be continuing to strive for over 100 uses. The last thing I wanted to share with you is my Body Shop Honey Bronzer. I have been trying to finish this bronzer for so long. This is what it's looking like. There's a huge pan in there. I've used this bronzer 130 times, and it's probably going to take 130 more times to finish this. It just moves so slowly. I've been reaching for this since the beginning of the year, trying to like get this second ring to fully show, and it's just not budging very much at all. Like each month I show the progress pictures and it is minimal, and I feel like I'm going in with a pretty heavy hand with the bronzer, with this bronzer, but I don't know how Rebecca Morgan finished hers. I'm so jealous. I remember when she finished hers a couple of years ago, I was so motivated to work on mine more, and it's still lingering. But those were 7 items I wanted to update you on, my progress, if I'm nearing, 100 uses. I was very surprised by the BH Cosmetics Take Me Back to Brazil palette. Only 25 more uses and I could surpass that goal, which feels really exciting. I also want to be, focusing more on palettes that were a bit, sorry that's blinding, bit more of a, I almost threw my So Jaded palette on the floor. Bit more of a splurge for me, but I don't want that to be the sole purpose of this project. But yeah, I feel like that's all I have to say. I want to not be rambling for too long. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see an update on a particular product. I would love to chat with you. Do you think 100 uses is a good goal to have for makeup that you own? With someone like me with a larger collection, it's a bit challenging to reach that goal, which sounds a little silly because it's like less than 4 months worth of days if you look at it like that. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But if you did enjoy today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up so that I know, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!